ago, after suffering the 8 years of the highway reconstruction and not having wayfinding signage and stuff in place in order to support businesses after it goes through the losses of business on commercial streets when the city shut down the streets and shut them down. Are those people better off today than they were before? And when I look at the 11 years that I've been here, there has been only one person willing to try to make a difference, and that has been Mr. Gilda Rubio. And instead of embracing his knowledge and trying to work together, it just seems like we're trying to run him out of town. And again, I use that statement is because I need to ask the question, why? Because I talk to a lot of people here in town, including many of you up there on the board, and I have yet to understand why you are trying to fire this individual, and therefore I'd like to make an official request for that list of particulars. And then again, based on that, if you can't produce it, is this the focus that we should be having right now for the city? Is this where we're going to use our limited resources at this time, is for this tit-for-tat play that we're playing? So this is not going to attract the jobs that we need, and it's time that we elevate ourselves to discuss ideas and not wallow in the discussion of people. Thank you.
Lee Hadaway.
My name is Lee Hadaway, and I work for the City Garage, City of Trinidad. I've been asked to speak on behalf of the AFSCME Local 1074, the City Workers Union. And I believe I can say that we all support our city manager, Mr. Gilda Rubio. The reason we support Ed is because of a mutual respect and a mutual trust that we have with this newcomer to Trinidad. We did not have that in the former administration. We had nothing like that. He has been a breath of fresh air. He has been a straight shooter to us from the day he set foot into this town. And we feel that he is leading this city in the direction that it needs to go. Mr. Fabic is right. The morale of the city employees has improved tremendously. And this is after 4 years with no raises. We finally got a raise this year, but even if we hadn't, our morale still would have been higher. Now, I read in the paper last week where some of y'all said, we want things the way it was. Well, needless to say, I'm not from Trinidad. I didn't grow up there. But I was here in the late 80s. I went to gunsmithing school for 3 years. I saw what Trinidad was like after the mine shut down. I don't think anybody wants to go back to that. Mr. Gilda Rubio is taking us into the future. Basically, and he's taking us with some people kicking and screaming, but we're headed in the right direction. And I believe that you need to listen to your constituents. You need to listen to people other than your friends and family, because right now I am representing 110 city union employees, and you've got to figure that they probably each have 5 votes that they can count on too. So basically, we're talking about 700 people that are for Ed. So thank you for your time.
Peter, City Council. I'm here for one reason, and one reason only really, is to support Ed, period. He's done a good job, he's a good man, upstanding man. Other than that, I'm a newbie to Trinidad. I've been here 4 months, and the city utilities are about to put me out of business. I'm a possible employer of the town, you know, for the future. I don't like how the city is run. I find a lot of waste and a lot of crapola, if you will. But anyway, I mean, I'm barely open for business at this point. I just got here. And I love it here. I came here because, well, I'm from Denver. I lived in Pagosa, and I lived in Santa Fe. I'm 3 hours from all my basic, home where all my friends live. And this is the center of the universe to me. I want to stay here. This is where I want to make home. And this city is going to be such buttheads about how they run it. Well, you just lost a future employer.
Tim Peters.
Mr. Mayor, and Council. Okay, Mr. Mayor, when you were elected mayor, I was happy for you. I thought between working with Mr. Gildarubio and yourself that you'd just be a superstar mayor. I was happy because we've been friends for a long time. Right now we're on other sides of the issue, and I'd just like to see if you guys could work together to bring this town back together. I want to see you out on the golf course in a couple of years, wave to you and say, hey John, what's happening and stuff. I don't want this divide to go on in town like it is. I definitely support Mr. Gildarubio. He's moving us into the future. I'm very much concerned with the future. I mean, I'm invested up to my ears in Trinidad. I'm not going anywhere. So, I mean, I just wish you guys could really work it out. Because, I mean, I'd like to see you as the superstar mayor that you had the opportunity to be. Thank you.
Ed, comment?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm Ed Tramier, and I'd like to make some remarks in favor of Mr. Ed Rubio. As a businessman in Trinidad, I was fairly surprised the first time I met Ed. The first week he was here, he stopped into my office, introduced himself, and asked me about the community, and told me about his commitment to help make this place a better place to live. Under his direction, it's the first time since I've been in my office that the landscaping that was done by the state of Colorado has been maintained on a regular basis. The weeds weren't as big as the flowers were last year. It's the first time that's happened. On 3 different occasions, Mr. DeRubio has called me at home on a weekend. How often do you have a civil servant call you on a weekend? He had arranged for people to come in from out of our town to look at some of our vacant buildings. He was trying to generate an interest in our town from out-of-town people to make an investment here, to provide jobs and opportunities for our citizens here. On another occasion, he called me and asked me to schedule a showing of 5 buildings because he had scheduled a meeting with the State Historic Society, a member from the governor's office, and from the State Office of Economic Development, all again in an effort to generate interest in our community. Ed is very committed to our community. At the same time, I support Ed. I also support the job that you have to do. I know that